Welcome back to the John Mendola Show here on WILK. Driven by McCarthy Tire Service. Well, some interesting games last night. Scranton took it to Wyoming Valley West. Honesdale beat GAR. Well, Scranton Prep will play Abington Heights today. We'll see how that works out. Holy Cross and Holy Redeemer will go at it as well, and Montrose and Susquehanna. So a few games going on today, but some of those games from last night, I think, turned some heads, and some of the scores, including the one I was at last night with Dallas taking care of the Coughlin Crusaders, and Berwick last night beat Hazleton area, so some other scores. We're going to talk more Coughlin football, Coughlin Football Alumni Weekend. So we got the Crusaders in town with us, and every year the Old Forge Blue Devils, this is their weekend, the first weekend they get together, so they're having a good day today. They're doing Bocce today up at Arcaro and Janelle, so Old Forge guys will be having a good time all day today. And of course now we got our Crusaders, and I'm sure we're going to try to maybe make this an annual event. Nino, Cinti, let's get that going now. Can we get together every year and throw it out there? And we'll get some different guys in every year, huh?
Yeah, let's. I wouldn't mind doing it every year. It was a good time, and as long as we're still breathing and we can still sing the alma mater after games, I have no problems doing it. You know what I mean, John?
All right, we'll get it located. All right, Coach Joseph, back to you. You had some great teams and some great memories and some great athletes. Think of a couple of guys out of the 70s, and I'm sure we had the Monahan guys in there, but give us a couple of guys there in the 70s you remember some good stuff from.
Well, besides the Monahan boys, we did have Terry Warren, probably one of the best athletes Coughlin ever had. He was fantastic in all sports he played. We had Mark Murphy was our tight end. Did a nice job. Bill Peffer, Tony Neary, great linemen, both went to D1 schools. We've been very blessed with some great athletes, as I mentioned before. And the kids were both great kids on and off the field. So 70s were a great time for Coughlin football. And, we have to remember the coaches. Joe Moran always had a tremendous program before. And then they hired Bill Yeomans, who kind of taught us all the football game, Bill Yeomans. Myself, Coach Meck, Coach Jackson. I can remember meeting at his house on Sundays for 10 hours going over everything. And he made sure you learned every position and every technique and stuff like that. So Bill Yeomans and Joe Moran were big parts of Coughlin's success in years after they left. So it was just a great time. I was lucky I was in the right spot at the right time, and I got hired. So it was a great experience.
I go back to being a kid, and one of my fun memories I had was watching the game against Shikellamy. And I believe, if I recall, and I could be wrong, it was on Thanksgiving morning at 10 or 11 o'clock or something like that. But great game. I think it was 17-15 maybe back in the late 70s.
Yeah, they were. It was a tremendous game. We had such super kids then. Also, remember Bobby Maley? They had this all-state tight end, and Bobby Maley shut him down the whole game. He was a tough little knucklehead, and we were like. It was just great football, great high school football, great experience on Thanksgiving morning, like the old Thanksgiving Day game. So it was very, very unique, very neat.
Yeah, and go back to some of those other memories of linemen. Of course, Solt, Gazurski, big names back then. Dave Shimshock was Mr. Everything back then as well.
It was they were the outstanding players, there's no doubt about it, but with the great supporting cast they had, the two fullbacks, Randy Shovelin, Davey Evans, they're tremendous kids. They alternate every play. They blocked for Dave Shimshock. The offensive line was fantastic. Besides Bruce and Ronnie Sold, they had TJ Jasonis, they had Tommy Whitechock was the center, and it's amazing I'm remembering some of these names.
Tommy Whitechock had the glasses. T.J. Jasonis with the straight-on kicking, number 55.
Straight-on kicking, yes. And it was another great football team in Coughlin.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think it was Big Mike Answini around then.
Oh yeah, he was a tight end, and it's just from great kids, great families, and just very, very lucky to be there.
All right, we're still talking Coughlin Crusaders football, and we'll go back a couple of years here. Let's get Andy Cole in here, who was an assistant coach with the Coughlin high school football program for many years. And Andy, welcome in, and a lot of good memories for you as well.
Yeah, John, thanks for having us. Great memories. I was very fortunate to start my coaching with Coughlin. Coach Joseph bringing in an ex-Mohawk into the Coughlin family, probably one of the the best things that ever happened to me in all of my career, to become part of that family with such great football tradition, and just a great situation with great kids, great families. Really an enjoyable time, and I have great memories.
You seem like you fit right in with the Coughlin coaches and with the kids, and similarity, I'm sure, in some ways after being a Mohawk, coming over to be a Crusaders. But the times, as a player, I think one of the things you remember is the coaches really had a good time together. You guys really enjoyed that time with each other. A lot of laughs, a lot of busting going on. The ditto copies that you guys are doing, different things like that. It was fun.
Yeah, John. Sometimes I think we had too much fun. We did have a great group of guys, and guys that we've become lifelong friends, and watched our families grow up. And I'll tell you, it was a time when you could have a lot of fun, get to work, and do what you needed to do. John talked about those 10-hour Sunday meetings, and we did those things. And some of the great times when Coach Jones spilled the 5 gallons of chili inside of his dashboard on his car, and some of those great things. And we don't let each other forget about some of those things. We'd be serious when we needed to be, but we had a good time when we had the opportunity.
I think that's why Coach Jones wasn't able to make it today, still cleaning that chili out.
He's trying to get that chili out from under his radio.
Good stories, and we'll be talking to some other guys here along the way, and we're going to take a timeout, so we'll get to Bob Anthony, and we'll still talk a little more with Andy Cool and Kevin Coyne on the way. Paul Bucky Greeley in studio with us, Matt Winsick, so still got more guys to check in with. We'll come back and talk Coughlin Crusaders football and some very good memories. Well, we'll tell you some more locations. You can pick up a copy of our football preview magazine. Of course, get out the rankings and then check out some of those power rankings of teams and how they fared there to start the season. Ours Place in Hamlin is somewhere you can get one. Pocono Transportation, Mendocino's Pizza in Daleville, Holy Cross High School, Jen, Ricky Loophole in Dunmore, Mendocino's Italian Specialties. They're over there on Sanderson Avenue in Scranton. Electric City Baseball, McCarthy Tire in Scranton, Vincenzo's Pizzeria in West Side, Rinaldi Auto, Alexi Pharmacy, Manuka Subaru, It's All We Do, Arcaro and Janelle in Old Forge, along with Ravello's Pizza. I want to thank the Old Forge Quarterback Club as well for helping out this year with our football magazine. Well, we come back, we'll talk more Coughlin Crusaders football, continue the conversation. Let's head out now to our local State Farm insurance agent, Frank Sirokatch break. Like a good neighbor, Frank Sirokatch is there. We'll be back at WILK.